gonna go a little bit bigger cruisy foil. It's not super powerful. Ooh, it's chilly out here. It's supposed to be a low of like 6 or 9 degrees Fahrenheit tonight. So I'm guessing that this is going to be the last day of potential surfing on Lake Erie for a little while. And I'm hoping that the water's not so cold right now that my deck pad's going to ice up and I won't be able to unice it, because that happened the last day I was out last year. Yep. Half hour of daylight, so hoping to grab a couple, call it a day, and get the fuck out of here, because it's 25 degrees out and snowing, although the wind shut off, so the waves are kind of clean. They're pretty small, but the only thing that might ruin the session is if I can't keep the deck pad of the board from icing up. That's why I put some wax on it, try and give myself a little extra grip, and the water being too shallow, which I think it's okay, but it's been all over the place with the massive storm that came through a couple days ago. So TBD. Fresh wetsuit with no holes in it, which always helps. Things we do for fun. Yeah. Oh yeah, a little slush on the inside. Board weighs 1,000 pounds with the extra snow weight on it. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's get it. Nothing like some good old Lake Erie chocolate milk. For what it's worth, the water leaking in one of my boots does not feel that cold. So I have a good feeling about the deck pad holding up. We might be pumping through piles of slush though. This lake's gonna be frozen tomorrow, or at least part of it. Look at all that slush. Oh, that's cold on the face. Whew, that stuff isn't great for foiling. Whew. God damn, that was a sloppy pop-up. No! So much slush. Oh! All right. Come on. God damn it. Can't fucking see what I'm doing. It turns out that when you hit big piles of slush underwater, they bring you off foil. Who would have thought? I'm gonna get out and paddle back to the point because it gets a little shallow in here and there's way more slush down this way. Oh man, I love this shit. Alright. What a backwash off this ice shelf. Woo! The last time I prone foiled, it was in Cabarete in the Dominican Republic, and the water was 80 degrees. And I'm not sure how much of a difference it makes, but I've always felt that salt water is easier to recover when you're close to a stall speed in. But what I also noticed is that when you get in really cold water, it becomes a lot harder to pump as well. And I don't think it's a density difference. If you look up the viscosity of water at different temperatures, the viscosity almost doubles from 40 degrees to 80 degrees. The viscosity is basically like how easy it is for the water molecules to slip past one another. Man, it's hard to talk with this wetsuit hood on. And the viscosity is a big component, or it's, you know, the main component of the skin friction on your foil. So essentially there's two components of friction on a wing. There's the form drag, which is basically the frontal surface area of the wing pushing water out of its way. And then there's skin friction. The skin friction is essentially how much friction there is between the water molecules and themselves as the mass slides over, or the mass and the wing slide through them. And I think what happens in cold water is that viscosity doubles, the viscosity doubles, and so you essentially have a fair amount more drag on the foil, which makes the amount of energy that you have to put in to keep the system moving greater. It's obviously not 2 times, because there is other components to the drag, but I've always noticed the difference. And for the long time, wow, that's a big ball of ice. For a long time, I thought it was just harder to pump because you're in a thick wetsuit, which I don't think helps things. But I think there is something to the viscosity differences. Man, look at these chunks of ice. They're like bowling balls. They're rolling around in here. That's wild. I mean, obviously I'm not doing a ton of pumping today. This is more just a novelty session. But I imagine the viscosity of the foil cutting through a big chunk of slush adds quite a bit more drag to the system than the cold water does. I certainly could feel it on the last wave as I was hitting slush chunks. Normally the water color is a lot more blue here, but we had a massive storm. I think there was a gust that hit like 79 miles an hour a couple days ago. And Lake Erie is a pretty shallow lake, shallowest Great Lake. I think it's only like 250 feet deep or something. And you know, out in this area, maybe 80 feet in the middle on this end. And that just stirs up the bottom and makes everything super murky for a couple days. Might be starting to get a little ice on the deck of this board. Feeling a little slippery. I can't see. Everything's so goddamn brown. Whew. All right. Man, everything's the same fucking color. Woo. I think the slush helps clean up these waves a little bit. It cuts some of the wind chop. Starting to get into it again down here. Motherfucker! Whew. Having a hell of a time judging my height off the water because everything's the same color and the water's kind of glassy. I might try and catch one in from here. It's gonna be a shitty walk back. Woo-hoo-hoo. Wasn't so bad. Except this walkway be shitty. Oh yeah. That's what I thought. I think that's better. Nope. If I can get to shore, I know it'll be good. So we're just gonna crawl. Tell you what, I'm not really looking forward to this drive home. I don't feel like I went that far on that wave, but kind of a long walk. Well, it was a session. I don't know about a good session, but Sometimes it's just the adventure and the stupidity of doing this kind of shit that makes it fun more than the actual, you know, wave riding. Happy New Year.